Well, hello and good evening. It is February 12th, 2020. Community Emergency Preparedness, video number 1. Little disclaimer, liability here. Material information contained in this show is for entertainment purposes only. Everything that you hear should be taken with a grain of salt. I am not recommending or giving any financial advice or health advice. This is simply what I think I'm going to do. So, I didn't get time to prepare for news because I was sitting here troubleshooting some encoding issues. So what we're going to do is break into a first aid. So I put together a first aid kit from simply shopping at the Dollar Tree. Now at Dollar Tree, it's really cheap material, so it's not like high quality stuff, but it will get you by. Now I spent roughly $37 and between Dollar Tree and Walmart basically, and a couple items I already had that I had collected from garage sales. And the reason I say garage sales is because I have a blood pressure kit that I bought from a garage sale last year for $3. Now this kit is a very nice kit, and it was brand new in the package when I bought it, so I didn't have to worry about it being used. This does have the cuff and the stethoscope, so always good to have in emergency times. Being able to check blood pressure for seeing when people are ill or sick is very important. Many of our medical group will confirm that. Of course, nice American flag one. Like I said, I always keep my eye out for deals when I'm out and about, especially garage sailing and stuff like that, because you never know what you're going to come across for cheap. I'm a budget preparer, so what that means is that I look for the best deals because I don't have a whole lot of money to spend. In this kit, it also comes with a nice set of scissors for cutting into tape and stuff like that without cutting into people, so that was a nice little bonus in there. It also, on one of the front packs that I scored, is the other pieces for the stethoscope itself and a little heart rate. So that was a pretty awesome find. So inside this kit that I put together, I bought the pack at Walmart for $3. It was on sale down there, clearance aisle. It's pretty much an Ozark Trail fishing tackle box kit that I've turned into a first aid. And let's break into it and kind of look what we got. Okay, slide down a little bit. So on the inside here, first thing we're going to pull out is some gauze. This is gauze pads, so that if you have like elastic tape or anything like that, you'll be able to put on top of it after you clean a wound. Wet wipes, because it's always good to be able to wipe down an area that you're going to be working on to help kind of keep things clean. I have a permanent marker. The importance of having a permanent marker inside of your emergency kit is if you get stung or you get in some sort of infection of the skin, you want to be able to circle around the infected area to see over a 24-hour period if it's going to grow or not. Now if it grows, then you definitely want to go find medical attention. If it doesn't grow, then you have a better idea of what you're dealing with. So having that marker is very important inside your kit. I have I spent $1 on some waterproof tape at the Dollar Tree. Most expensive thing in this pack is the iodine, and I recommend iodine for a lot of things. It's not just good for prepping wound areas, it's also good for purifying water, and it also has great effects on your thyroid. I have a small bottle of hydrogen peroxide. Many uses for hydrogen peroxide is cleaning wounds, of course, also sterilizing the area that you're working in and your utility stuff. I have a small little pack of tissue paper. Yep, Paw Patrol it is. That's what was on sale. That's what I got. A bottle of witch hazel. Witch hazel is great for skin rashes, burns, and many other like small little minor things that you could come in contact with skin irritations. So I pretty much these items from here, I bought this for $1. This was $1.76, and then the iodine was $7.99. Alcohol prep pads. There is currently 100 individual pack pieces in here, and I paid $1 for that at Dollar Tree. This little pack of cotton set, it has Q-tips, little tissue pieces, and cotton balls. You'll be able to use this in many different applications for applying your iodine, to cleaning out an area, your wound, whatever it may be. The cotton's also flammable, so if you need to build a quick fire, you have that inside your kit. Second most expensive thing inside here, other than the iodine, is these stop bleed kits. These are a chemical that you can apply to an area that has bleeding, and these will basically clot up the wound really quick. I have yet to have to use one of these, so I really don't know the effectiveness of it yet, other than it's really good for being out in the field and having. You don't want to be out there and have a potential situation where you lose a lot of blood, so these will help in certain situations. And of course, I got a small little bandage kit here. It was $1, so I figured I'd pick it up, throw it in there. Now, the 15 box part of this, there's 2 of these that came in there. I took one out, so I have room to apply my bottles. Inside this here, I put a couple different things. Let's go ahead and break into it, and we'll take a look at it. First is a lighter. Lighters are great in your first aid kit because you might have to sterilize something, and fire sterilizes a lot of things pretty easily, like your stethoscopes or your tweezers. Second item here is a set of tweezers. I picked these up pretty cheap at the Dollar Tree too. $1 at Walmart, a little bottle of Lysol. So if you need to spray an area like this bench I'm working in front of here, I can disinfect this real quick and it's already clean. So a couple extra lighters because they come in a 3-pack. I went ahead and threw them inside the pack. So I got vitamin E oil from Dollar Tree. Vitamin E oil has a lot of natural remedies that it can be used for. One reason I picked it up is because it's really good on burn. Like if you get burn spots or blisters or whatnot, you can apply this vitamin E to that area and it will help soothe that area and heal that skin a lot faster. So having that is pretty crucial. Of course, my favorite, hand sanitizer. You gotta have hand sanitizer inside your kit. I have little packets of these individual eye drops in case you get something inside your eye or somebody needs some eye drops. Roughly, I have about 7-8 of them. They come from a bigger pack, so I'm not really including those into my price on what I put in here because I already had them and sitting around. Like I said, these things are $1 a piece at the Dollar Tree. You can also go down to Dollar Spree or you know, somewhere general like that, Dollar General, and kind of find similar items. This next one is waxed, non-flavored dental floss. Now, in a quick emergency situation, I can use this as stitching material. I can use the tweezers to help kind of pull that through. One other thing that I'm going to add to this kit later will be some needles, so I'd be able to do that. I'll be able to stitch up a wound if I had to. One thing that I have in my bug out bag is something, it's medical grade super glue is basically what it is, and it helps for making that stitch. That's something I'm also going to be adding into this pack later. I picked those up for 2 for $3, so that's a good thing to have. Now here's another $1 item. I have a triple antibiotic ointment, good for wounds. I have a very small bottle of Tylenol that fits in here. I have After Bite for bug bites, insect bites, and stuff like that kind of help soothe that area. I got some hydrocortisone cream, small bottle, $1 from Dollar Tree. I got 2 elastic support bandages, so that I could put these over the top of my gauze pads if I have to, or I can create splints with these by using sticks or whatever it is around my environment. I can, if I break something or break my leg or break my arm, I can use it as a splint material. And then of course you got your stack of band-aids that you have to have in there in case of small wounds. So this is kind of a pack I put together most recently to kind of just have around. I haven't had to use it too often much, thank goodness. So it's still pretty full, and put this back real quick. So, one thing I was listening to on this back earlier today is that China's going to be releasing back 150 million workers back into the workforce, which is fantastic as far as their economy is concerned. I don't know how much longer they'll be able to go without having production going. But you have to think about some of the dangerous applications that could lead to, potentially with having sick people out in the field, and I did see that there's a list of stuff that's going on out there that they're going to have to follow to kind of help prevent some of that. But I don't think we're done with this virus yet. So just keep your eyes out, keep your ears peeled, and stay safe out in your travels and stuff, and watch people. I've seen a lot of people being sick around here, as far as like the sickness that we have, the influenzas and stuff like that. And I'm always carrying the hand sanitizer because I personally don't want to be sick, so I take a regimen of vitamins, stuff to kind of help keep my immune system up, so that while I'm out and about, my system has a better chances of not catching stuff or being able to go through that really quick. So I'm gonna pack this up later, a little more tighter and neatier. You can also pick up like small little bags. One bag that I'm going to be transitioning into is this little camouflage pack. This will probably turn into my much larger med pack. This will be like, one thing I recommend with your med pack is the same principles behind your 72-hour pack, your 24-hour pack, stuff like that, is redundancy. It's just having enough supplies for a couple days out, because with medical stuff it gets a little more spendy, and you don't want to be sitting there spending a whole ton of cash out there having to get all this material on. So just pick it up slowly here or there. Dollar Tree, you can get a lot of this stuff. Garage sales, you can get stethoscopes, or even down at like Goodwill. I've seen stethoscopes, heart rate monitor, and stuff like that. So stuff to have. Really not that bad. So let's move on to our next topic. Back in 2008, December 2008, the Homeland Security released a document saying, America's greatest threat is an EMP. Now, one thing that I do, oh, Matt, you'll be able to watch the video after I get done with it, so you'll be able to rewatch those last minutes that you didn't get to see. Sterile wound wash, yeah, I've got to add a couple more things to that kit, but I was on a short budget there. I was trying to keep it under $40 and billing it. I will be adding a little bit more to kind of get that in there, so I'll end up being like a $45 kit, but it still gives me a lot more than what you see in the store when you buy those like 102 piece kits for $30-some, and you really isn't got much more hand sanitizer. You gotta have that. All right, so let's move on to our next thing. I want to show you guys kind of how I built my EMP-proof box pretty cheap. I don't know if I got lucky or it was just the find of the time. I came across this box last summer. This is a steel fireproof safe box. I mean, it's heavy, but it's made out of steel. So what we're going to do, we're going to build this together. I've already pre-cut some of the stuff for the inside to kind of make a nice barrier. I'm a big advocate of duct tape. Duct tape is great for everything. So let's go ahead and break in. I'm going to open this up. So as you can tell, on the inside, this has a buy rating of, it's not telling, but I think this one is a 45-minute hour. So what I did, I created a lid out of cardboard, and we're going to tape this up here in a minute. But I already stuffed some stuff in here to kind of go through. If an EMP would happen, I have a hunting camera that I use for security, for if people walk by or inside my zone here, my work zone. If I set this up somewhere, somebody comes in, night vision, everything, it works right off from it, they'll be able to get caught coming in. Or I'll put this by my door, and if I have unexpected guests come by, I have a nice picture of them if I need to. So I put this inside my EMP box in case of time of emergency and something of that nature would happen. I'll at least have some sort of security, something I can watch later. I'm sure many of you guys seen the document that I sent out earlier in the year about the studies that were done with cars and certain electronics that are not going to be affected as much by an EMP or CME that would happen. So one thing I do have in here is my little handheld ham radio. I can get weather band emergency broadcast into this thing. And I imagine if I got this in here, it's like a double safety. I also keep the battery disconnected from it because in that time of an EMP or etc., this isn't going to get fried out with the battery not attached to it. We're just going to set these to the side real quick. So on the inside here, what I did was I cut out some cardboard and I kind of put it in here where it fit nice and snug. Now when this lid comes down, I need this seal to touch metal to metal. And that's what it's going to do, is create a barrier for any kind of radio signals that are going to come across and interfere with that. So like in an EMP, those signals have to enter into an area. And so basically what I'm doing is just making a solid Faraday cage inside this area. And well, I think it would be considered a Faraday cage because you're creating a block for any kind of signal passing in and out. And what we're going to do is kind of duct tape the inside to keep everything secured. So we're going to take our duct tape here and we'll break this out so you guys can see the kind of pieces I cut. I just took like little angle pieces and made a custom little bottom. And how I did this was just basically I took a piece of cardboard, I took my knife, and I scored edges to kind of make those lips. So when it fits down in there, I can put that tape around that area, and on the inside where there's already duct or already cardboard, it's going to make that nice little seal. Nothing's going to get past that. Because what you don't want is in a time like an EMP situation is your electronics touching that steel. Because anything that's touching that steel is going to get affected by those waves. Now, if you're like me, I like to do a little reading. I did download the Electromagnetic Pulse Protection and Resilience Guideline for Overhead Infrastructure and Equipment. This is the unclassified version. It was released on February 5th in 2019, so I get a little idea on how to kind of design this stuff and come up with a good safe plan. So after we get our cardboard in there, we're going to take our tape and kind of make a line in there, a layer, so that you have the cardboard layer and then you have that duct tape layer, and you're not going to worry about your material, whatever you're going to set in there, kind of touching it. And all I'm going to do is kind of use this duct tape to cover those seams. I'm not going to cover all the cardboard. I think it'd be kind of a waste of duct tape at this point. But you know, you got to start from somewhere, I guess. And you know, visually inspect all the areas to make sure that there's no steel going to be touching any of your equipment if things move around. So after you apply that in there, then you want to just make sure everything's nice and tight and sealed up. So the way we're going to test this after we get this all put together is I'm sure somebody in the audience out there has got my cell phone number, and when I give you the right notion, just go ahead. I'm going to put my cell phone in this box, lock the box, and see if we can call it. And if we can't hear it, the signal's not passing through, and we've got a nice secured box. So let's duct tape this up real quick. And we'll duct tape the lid that I made. Now with this box, I'll show you in a minute, after I tape this, and you'll get an idea what I mean by this. When the lid comes down, the lock sits deeper, and so you got to make sure you're setting your lid in so it sits below that lock. lid. We're going to tape this up real quick. Do we have anybody out there that has my number? Oh, I suppose I gotta see the... Hey everybody, there we go. Alright. So sorry guys about the YouTube not working. I had it all set up yesterday, and I'm not really sure what happened. My computer updated, and now my encoding software is not working with YouTube. So I tried to plan this ahead, and well, that's what I get for trying to plan ahead, I guess. But what I'm going to do is take this video after we're done here, is upload it to YouTube. So the channel is going to stay the same, but we'll be able to use this as a video on YouTube to kind of go back on. So this doesn't have to look super pretty if you don't want. When you make these lids or whatever box or something, you find for doing this. And like I said, as long as it's a steel box, it's got to be steel. That's the best material that you're going to find that conducts the best for the signals to kind of ride across. I mean, you could use like copper products, but it becomes expensive. So here's our box top, or lid that I made. What you want to do is kind of test to see how it fits down in there. Pretty snug fit. So it kind of reseats inside there, and what I was meaning by that is the lock has to come down here. And so this lid has to sit below that lock because this has to make a nice secure fit across this. And so when this comes down, that lock's got to be tight, and you're going to have no signals passing around it. So now our lid's out. I'm going to take my cell phone here, make sure the volume's on high. Volume is on high. So let's do a test run on the call first. Michelle Tabman, if you don't mind, give me a call to make sure my phone's working right now. Or video call, either or. You just got to call the phone so I got signal. Make sure. No? No. There you go. Okay, so we got signal. You see she's calling me on Facebook. We can go ahead and decline that. Sorry, Michelle. So we're going to place that in the box. I prefer if you call my cell phone itself because I'm running on YouTube on my computer right now to record this. So if you do that, it'd actually be better. Let me lock it to make sure it's tight, because that lock kind of sits in there and helps drive, pulls that down a little bit. Yep, that does. Gotta find the right key, I suppose. Okay, lid's tight. Call my cell phone. We're gonna bring this up close just in case you can hear. Nothing, I'm guessing. I said nothing. Oh, she's calling on the computer again there. But I hear it on the computer. I don't hear it in the box. No, I can't hear it. So we have a successful box. I feel pretty safe about that. Otherwise, another way to test it is to find you an old little small battery operated radio. I have this little NOA weather broadband radio that we can test it with too. Now the idea is to not be able to pass radio signals into the box. Oh, I got a missed call. That was quick. Alright, let's give her a try, I suppose. We got a little bit of signal there, a little stag. We're going to put it on AM here.
Have to play.
We got a nice little signal going.
Middleton lobs it into deep and
Oh, I got to put my lid on it. Oops.
to Lutz. Lob it down to Lopez. He catches reverse 100 to 88.
Uh-oh, we didn't make it. We're not getting a good connection. So what I'm going to have to do to change this is probably sand the edges on that lid, because it was used, to get this to work properly. So I'm still getting some radio signals through. I can hear it. So it's not a good connection. It's not going to work. So what we'll have to do is revisit this box later and add a little tightness to these edges, so sand them down so they're getting metal to metal connection. I'm sure that will fix it. This box right here, even though I didn't get cell phone service in there, that radio signal bothers me. So I'm going to make sure I can block out that radio signal more than anything. If I have to, what I'll do is get a little emery cloth and sand down these edges to make sure I got that nice metal to metal connection. And we'll revisit this in about a week after I get this project done to make sure it's working properly. I didn't test this before, so I apologize, guys. So we know that without that metal to metal connection, the box does not work. Kind of a disappointment because I thought it was working because I tested with the cell phone, but it is what it is, and that's why we do this ahead of time to make sure that things work the way they should. If you guys have any questions or want me to kind of try to build something else, let me know in the email or leave me comments. We're definitely going to be reviewing other things to try to get ahead on. I don't want to be, stuck behind the curve when something does happen. That's why we test, we prepare, and we execute what we're doing, so that we know in the field time it does work. I do have some steel sheets, and what I might do just to kind of help give that extra barrier in there is make a lid that'll fit down in there out of steel, and that will create that layer that will help block that signal out. So that's what we'll do. Sorry, I can't see new updates very well. Yeah, no audio. Oh, still not working or good working? Anyhow. Well, this is the end of this segment. Next Wednesday, 8 p.m. will be the next segment. I am going to be building up another sequence of events to kind of go through. One thing I do have an idea for, and I really would like to test it out, is creating a decontamination zone in case needed out of a camp shower set. It's basically just a small little tent that sets up. You put up a portable shower in it, and you can, it's an enclosed area. So what we'll be able to do is kind of put decontamination stuff like Lysols and low bleach water, or a little hydrogen peroxide mixed with a little water to kind of help destroy its bacteria if we had to. There's a lot of preparation that goes into some of these videos, so I apologize if we run a little late on some of them. I do work full-time job plus kind of try to put these things together. So, in review, we got to fix the box and get a couple more items for the first aid medical kit to kind of go through. So, wish you guys a safe and happy weekend that's coming up. Be safe, that's all I can say, and prepare for whatever we can. All right, have a good night, everybody.